Small-scale farming occupies the majority of our country's agricultural land area and contributes significantly to our food supply and the local economy. It strengthens rural communities and contributes to a diverse quality and quantity of crops. Hello and welcome to an exciting edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Adrian Atkinson. Today we're looking at how the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries is forging partnerships to secure the livelihoods of those who feed us. We also look at how various divisions join together to get a grip on crime. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Friday, June 3, 2022. 5 of the 6 service industry subsectors recorded positive outturns to drive Jamaica's estimated growth of 6% for the January to March quarter of this year. Leading the way was hotels and restaurants, which, according to the Planning Institute of Jamaica, PIOJ, increased by an impressive 105.7%. This contributed significantly to the services industry, recording an 8.9% outturn for the review period. PIOJ's Director General, Dr. Wayne Henry, says the hotels and restaurant subsector continues to benefit from increased travel owed to the relaxation of previously implemented COVID-19 containment measures.
Preliminary data revealed that foreign national arrivals increased by 230.1% to 475,805 visitors, and cruise passenger arrivals was 99,798 relative to none in the corresponding quarter. Based on data received for January to February 2022, total visitor expenditure increased to US $485.6 million relative to US $169.2 million in the corresponding period.
Meanwhile, only 2 of the 4 goods-producing industry subsectors recorded positive outturns. These were agriculture, forestry, and fishing, which grew by an estimated 8.6%, and construction, up 1.1%. Dr. Henry says agriculture's performance reflects the impact of favorable weather conditions, an increase in hectares reaped, and government support through initiatives aimed at boosting production and productivity. The Tourism Ministry will be moving to put management systems in place for heritage and community sites to ensure proper upkeep of these areas. Portfolio Minister Edmund Bartlett asserted the need for this yesterday as he officially launched the restored Holland Bamboo Scenic Avenue in St. Elizabeth. The minister lamented that many of the heritage and community sites benefit from upgrading investments only to end up needing restoration not long after.
We've spent millions of dollars on heritage sites across Jamaica that go and ruin it. We spend millions of dollars on community centers and play fields across Jamaica, helping to enrich communities. And when you pass there, they are in ruin. We've built many beach improvement facilities across Jamaica that when you go there months afterwards, it's again in disrepair. That has to stop. We are going to insist that the management systems and structures are in place.
Restorative works at the Holland Bamboo Scenic Heritage Site was funded by the Tourism Enhancement Fund, TEF, at a cost of $8.5 million. The project is a partnership between the Ministries of Tourism and Agriculture. Minister Bartlett says there is now a need to do restorative work on the Travelers Halt rest stop along the avenue and replant the bamboo along the 4-kilometer stretch of roadway. The Island Traffic Authority ITA will be incorporating exhaust emission analyzing devices into its operations to measure exhaust gases caused by combustion in motor vehicles. The devices have been dispatched to 9 examination depots across the island so far, with others to be received in short order. Transport Minister Audley Shaw, who commissioned the devices on Wednesday, says the system is a critical step towards enhancing Jamaica's road safety program and environmental stewardship.
Emission tests further determine the level of air pollutants emitted from the exhaust of a motor vehicle. The goal is to help reduce the amount of pollutants that are harmful to the environment. These emission analyzers will further ensure data analysis of motor vehicles.
The commissioning of the devices comes as the country observes June as Road Safety Month under the theme Choose Life, Be Safe on the Road. Director of the ITA, Canute Hare, says the devices will support government's road safety agenda.
To ensure that every motor vehicle that traverses the road network are safe. And also we will work with our stakeholders, the JCF, the National Works Agency, to ensure that the road network is also safe for all road users.
The Post and Telecommunications Department has so far connected 73 post offices island-wide to the internet as it works to automate its services. Minister of Science, Energy and Technology Daryl Vaz made the disclosure during his recent sectoral debate. He says the move is in a bid to transform the country's post offices into modern and quick postal service providers.
To this end, the PTD continues its acquisition and adoption of counter-automated systems to promote efficient, transparent and accountable service delivery, as well as facilitate interconnectivity of administrative operational functions across locations.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness says it is monitoring cases of hand, foot and mouth disease, HFMD, in some schools. In a press statement yesterday, the ministry advised that children who are sick must remain home. HFMD is a mild, contagious viral infection common in children, particularly those 5 years and under. Symptoms include fever, loss of appetite, and sore throat. Persons may also develop painful sores in the mouth and rashes on the palms of hands and soles of the feet or other areas. While there is no specific treatment regimen for hand, foot, and mouth disease, fever and dehydration must be managed. Symptoms of dehydration include lethargy, sleepiness, dry tongue, lips, and skin, no tears when crying, sunken eyes, and less urine than normal. Elevated temperatures in young children must be evaluated by a healthcare practitioner. Immediate medical attention must be sought if children experience fever for more than 24 hours or develop signs and symptoms of dehydration. To help prevent its spread, members of the public are encouraged to practice frequent hand washing, especially following toilet use and before handling food, cleaning and disinfecting toys and other high-touch surfaces, and avoiding close contact with people who have the disease. And finally, the National Solid Waste Management Authority, NSWMA, will be going on a drive to encourage Jamaicans to clean up the place and protect the environment. Next Monday, June 6, will be observed as National Solid Waste Day under the theme One Jamaica, Make We Clean Up the Place. It kickstarts the local observance of National Environmental Awareness Week. The NSWMA is using the observances to encourage Jamaicans to be an active part of solid waste management efforts.
We're working very hard to improve our operations, but with the best of will, we can't do it alone. We need the help of the citizens. So we view everyone as our partners in ensuring that our country is a clean and healthy place, not just for us, but for future generations. We'll also be sensitizing persons about throwing the trash through the window, keeping a bag in your car, and so on.
The NSWMA's Community Relations Manager, Kimberly Blair, was addressing a JIS think tank earlier this week. On Monday, the authority will be in and around Mandela Park in Halfway Tree, encouraging vendors and taxi drivers to bag and bin their garbage for the entity to collect. On June 7, the NSWMA team will join Southern Parks and Markets for a school tour in Clarendon, targeting children at the primary and infant levels with information on good solid waste management practices. The team will also join Northeastern Parks and Markets to launch a composting initiative in the Rio Grande Valley. The NSWMA will then close out its activities by supporting the National Environment and Planning Agency, NEPA, in the commemoration of World Oceans Day, June 8, in St. Elizabeth. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
Jamaica's COVID-19 vaccination plan is still in effect. If you wish to make an appointment, please do so online by visiting moh.gov.jm or by calling 888-663-5683. Vaccination still a keep. Go get your jab today.
Insurance plans are beneficial for anyone looking to protect their family, property, and themselves from financial losses. And for those who work hard to provide food for the Jamaican population, there is such a plan. Let's see what it offers and to who.
Insurance provides protection against unexpected financial loss, ill health, or even death. For too long, Jamaica's farmers and fisherfolk have had no such cushion for the storms life sometimes bring. Then in 2021, the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries brought plans to life that would set out a safety net for the men and women that feed the nation.
All of the things that we're doing, this is one of a group of activities to make sure that Jamaica is prepared in case of disasters, in case of any situation that is coming. So if Jamaica is preparing, the farmers and fishers in Jamaica should also prepare.
Partnerships took form with Advantage General Insurance, providing access to insurance coverage for the vessels, vehicles, and accessories of farmers and fisherfolk. With GK Insurance to introduce a parametric rain, drought, and wind insurance policy for the sector. And to deliver group life and health insurance for farmers and fisherfolk.
The AgriCare plan was formed out of a partnership between Sagicor Life Jamaica and the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries.
Farmers and fisherfolk who are registered with the Rural Agricultural Development Authority RADA or the National Fisheries Authority NFA are empowered to protect themselves through a group major medical plan, a full house plan, a critical illness plan, a personal accident plan, or a group life plan.
Each person could determine if health is more important for them, if life insurance is more important for them, if critical illness is more important for them, and they make the decision based on affordability.
To the farmers and the fishers, it is incumbent, it is important, it is your duty to protect yourself and to protect your family. And one of the best ways to do this is to make sure that you get this insurance which is affordable.
Just to give you an idea, a coverage of $500,000 for a critical illness plan is $675 per quarter. So that works out to about $225 per month. So when I talk about affordability, Sagicor is seeking opportunities for the persons who we know have been underserved for the longest time. So if you get a lump sum of payment and you decide that, okay, maybe I can cover my annual premium, then we encourage them to do so.
There is even a special plan designed for fisherfolk to cover decompression illness,
which is something that they also call the bends that fishermen suffer from when they do the diving. And so, we know that that would be a benefit to them as well. Something is available for everyone, believe me, in terms of affordability, because based on the plethora of products that are available.
With a plan or plans that will work for you, the journey continues with enrollment.
Farmers are able to come on March 1 to May 31st of each year without any medical evidence of insurance, and they can also include their families on the plan, so dependent children and spouse can be added to the plan.
There are many avenues to enrollment. You can fill out a form at one of the NFA or RADA offices, or head to the nearest Sagicor location and meet with an agent. And if you're technology savvy,
they can reach out to Sagicor, via the internet. So via Twitter, social media pages, Facebook, Instagram. They can do their enrollments electronically and make payments electronically on our Sagicor Connect portal. Last year we had, a very good take-up that we would consider excellent under group insurance, requirements generally. But we know that we have over 220,000 farmers, over 27,000 fisherfolk. So in comparison to what the market size is, I would say we are pretty much a drop in the bucket.
The message is clear. If you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. Leave a legacy that your family will graciously thank you for. The progression towards a professional, protected farming and fisheries sector continues.
We are moving and pressing the discussion forward towards crop insurance, towards pension, and towards a simplifying now of the information.
What a way you're full of our roots and culture. That was in Jamaica 60. Jamaica 60? What a piece of news, Miss Matty. I feel like my heart going bust up.
Just in, the island of Jamaica is on the verge of celebrating its 60th year of independence.
A holy way of celebrating it. They say the people them come here, you know. But you see, when our people decide, say the other people them free paper, burn up, them say if it's war, start it, whatever. We all collect medal, panta fight, you know. Medal. Amount of tongue we give them, you know.
The celebrations are slated to begin on January 1st, 2022. Organized by the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport. We have more in this report.
I am on site and planning activities are ablaze. Persons are advised to download the Reggae Jamaica app to know what it pre. Activities for the Jamaica 60 celebration.
I download the app to get the updates then.
There's no getting around the fact that Jamaica's murder rate is too high for comfort. Gangs are an acknowledged major part of the factors driving the crime. So, as a means to end crime, corruption and violence, the Jamaica Defence Force, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, and other divisions have created a joint task force to fight for a safer future for the Jamaican society.
What you're seeing, or what I'm going to introduce, which is the Joint Anti-Gang Task Force, is all about continuing our focus on guns, gunmen, and gangs. And it was important, and we saw as part of our strategic focus and strategies that we had developed and planning that we had done, that we required an agile joint force that could deal with the levels of violence that we see here in Jamaica.
The JDF has been committed, intentional, and strategic about the support we provide to the JCF as we work to reverse the norm of gunmen being comfortable in any space.
It is not bound by any particular geographic space, but will move fluidly across the country to interrupt gang activities, to disrupt and deter those, to recover firearms or seize firearms, and also to focus on those people who are intent on creating death, mayhem, and pain in our society.
The JDF will bring dynamic and flexible military expertise to this task force, ensuring joint intelligence and the securing of the spaces in which we engage. This will allow the JCF to focus on the pursuit of gangs and the apprehension of their members who terrorize communities.
Now, the way the Joint Task Force works, none of these were achieved only by themselves. We work with the Lotto Scam Task Force, we work with CTOC, we work with territorial police, the police in the various divisions and areas. And it gives them, each one of these, far more capacity when they need it to deal with situations that can become or are highly violent. We have recruited some 70 plus persons, young Jamaicans, who had gone through the Jamaica National Service Corps program. They trained for a year or so as soldiers, and then we recruited them and ran them through the entire police training program. So these are qualified soldiers, qualified police officers, and they make up part of the task force and are familiar and comfortable in both the military environment and the policing environment. And that's part of creating the synergies to work more effectively as a joint group.
Through this joint initiative with the JCF, you can trust that this is our intention to create a safer Jamaica.
So we are creating the conditions, and this is part of our ongoing transformation, modernization, and responses to a situation that has plagued us for over 2 decades. And we're determined that we're not going into a 3rd decade with it as it is. And as part of that, we require and would ask for public support and public confidence.
I want Jamaica to focus on collaboration that is required to reap tangible results. Please work with this anti-gang task force. We want to protect you. We want to protect Jamaica for a safer and secure future.
The tinting of your windscreen, cut it out. Public passenger vehicles, according to the Transport Authority Act, not supposed to have tints. I'm appealing to motorists out there. We have removed many plates because of fandangles that are on the motor vehicle. Colorful lights, red light, purple light, blue light, and these multicolored lights. Get them off. I've noticed some trends out there where there is different type of license plates on motor vehicles. Only the Jamaican issued driver's license plates are to be on the motor vehicles. Once you transport any passenger in a motor vehicle, ensure that they are buckled, whether they are on the front or they are on the back. The seatbelt gives people a fighting chance to survive the crash. Many people have died who never give themselves a fighting chance.
When you think of gardening and growing fruits and vegetables, you may think of a large landscape in the rural parts of the country, rather than the concrete jungle. But gardening is becoming more popular in urban cities, and there is good reason. Here are some ways you can create your own garden wherever you reside.
Urban gardening is the cultivation of vegetables, fruits, aromatic plants, and herbs in an enclosed space or your backyard. It's an ideal way for those with little space to participate in the process of food production, saving money while feeding themselves. Practical application is one of the best methods of imparting new knowledge. The Jamaica 4-H clubs ran with that concept when it set up an urban garden display project at 123 Duke Street in downtown Kingston.
This project was born out of the COVID pandemic, where we recognize that food production has to become everybody's business. Traditionally, most of our food in Jamaica is cultivated in rural areas. We believe that even if you are in a dormitory community without land space, we believe that there's still an opportunity for you to produce. In this urban model, you would realize that we are demonstrating how you can do air planting, how you can do planting on your fence line, how you can produce food in different medium. And so we are utilizing a fully integrated approach from collecting your own water by generating your own nutrient within the urban garden model setting to be able to produce the food that you will eat.
There are a few vital things that plants need to grow. These include sunlight, proper temperature, moisture, air, and nutrients.
One of the basic pieces of technology inside our urban model garden is to demonstrate rainwater harvesting. From your roof, you're collecting your water, not only your roof, but just anywhere there's a runoff, because it could be a runoff underground. And what you want to do is to be able to have some storage capacity.
In the 4-H urban garden, the water is stored underground to ensure there is more available space on the surface. Of course, your environment will determine the most effective setup for your system.
One of the good things about Jamaica, other than when we have night, we always have sunlight. There are some plants that requires a lot more lighting than others. And so one of the things we demonstrate or we share with urban gardeners is where you put what. So there are some plants that you can do indoors. There are some plants that will strive and do better if they were to be grown outdoor. Whether you're using container, you're using your fencing, you're using backyard, front yard, or your rooftop. Another feature that is demonstrated here is composting. To my right is our composting area, and we have a roto-composting bin, as well as we have a regular bin. And in fact, just about all the vegetative matter and the waste from the birds and the animals across there are in fact all placed into our composters, and that is broken down to provide organic matter. Because again, you know, your soil needs that for aeration, it needs it to add humus, and that's what is going to allow your plants to grow well.
And all this can be done in your own space. Livestock is another avenue you can choose in your urban gardening. Rabbit rearing is an excellent source of protein, and it doesn't require much space. You can also use the plants in the garden to feed them. Other animals can be included, such as chicken and fish.
We do a lot of different birds here. You can do your ornamental fish, you can do your tilapia, you know. And you can also do your domestic hens. That's something we are also promoting, is to get back to those domestic hens for eggs and meat. There are many things you can do in terms of livestock. It's almost as diverse as you're going for crops.
To replicate this model in your urban space, speak with your Jamaica 4-H Club's parish officer. You can receive seeds and other planting material to get you started.
One of the biggest threats right now in the world is not war or COVID, is really to have a sustainable supply of food. And the view is that no longer can we only rely on the traditional food producer. I think food production has to become everybody's business. And I think the extent to which we are able to get all our people to produce some of what you will consume, I think is one of the greatest steps we can take in looking at the phenomenon of food sustainability.
A strategy the Jamaica 4-H Society has started to aid in maintaining sustainable food within communities. And if you haven't begun the process in your space yet, you can start now.
Concerned about uncollected garbage at home? Do you see garbage piling up on the streets? Then report it. Use the National Solid Waste Management Authority's mobile app to report instances of littering, illegal dumping, and uncollected garbage. From anywhere and at any time, be an environment warden by informing the authority of unsightly solid waste. You will be notified when your report has been received by the NSWMA, as well as when the matter is resolved. Download the app from the iOS or Android app stores by typing in NSWMA. Play your part, as Jamaica's beauty is everybody's duty.
We've come to the end of our program. Get a recap of all you saw here and more on our YouTube channel. Also, feel free to visit our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages for news you can use. From all of us here at the GIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Bye for now.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.